Sag, and welcome to Echo Tarot. I'm here today with your December 2020 Astro report and tarot reading. So I'm going to just jump right into my Astro notes for you. The first thing I want to say, Sag, is that I'm feeling pretty sassy this morning. Oh, my silly light. Okay. I don't know what it is. I just, I feel very sassy, kind of like with a bit of attitude, but very playful. So, but, at the same time as it being, very characteristic of Sagittarius playfulness, it's also, it's kind of like using humor to be taken seriously because you're ready to be taken seriously at this point in your development. I mean, and let's face it, the last 2 to 4 years have been especially challenging for you. So, and then, not to mention the few years preceding that. So, you're ready for people to understand that you now have experience and that, as fun-loving as you are, you're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So, with all that being said, Sag, there's 3 events that I'm basically covering for this month, and one of them is already passed. Pardon me as I get myself all set up again. But that was November 30th, and that was the lunar eclipse, full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini. I remember, which is your opposite sign. So, Sagittarius, you are being, tested in terms of, I would imagine, integrity and, and having more faith in your gut instinct on things. It's like you've had enough of people trying to tell you what you think. You know what you think, and you don't need to be told, because when the eclipse season comes in your sign, these are major karmic developments for you because they're happening in the lunar nodes, and so this is part of our emotional makeup, and so we're talking about this is now you're going from November 30th, where your focus is really more about relationships, because Gemini and Sag are across from each other on the wheel. So if it's in Gemini, it's going to be in your relationship house. And so then we come to December 14th, and that is a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius in your sign. So now it is all about your identity. And so the advice with the energies around this particular solar eclipse is eclipse the doubt and start saying yes to the opportunities that are coming in front of you. It's really a time for you to follow your dreams. The obstacles from your path have been removed, and you do have the experience of hardship and having to work towards a goal and gaining experience. You've had your feet on the ground for long enough now that it's time for that to be reflected in the opportunities that are placed in front of you. So when we get to the next big event, that's December the 21st. So that's the solstice, and it's also a very big deal among astronomers and astrologers right now. Everybody's talking about it. It's the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And so this happens every 20 years, but the last time that that it's happened in this particular way, and I'm not an astrologer, I just think it's fun to look at, but in terms of this particular alignment, this is also associated with the 800-year cycle that would bring about what has been referred to as possibly a candidate for the Star of Bethlehem. So it's a big deal, in terms of this alignment, and many astrologers are saying that this is our threshold into the age of Aquarius. It's going to take hundreds of years for us to really be fully in that new environment. But this is, you know, we're part where we have incremental beginnings into a whole new way of being, because the energetic influences will be so different. And we're going to feel that pretty much immediately in January, that this is new territory for all of us. So, when you do specifically for you, Sagittarius, you know, if I'm feeling all this sass just ahead of the solar eclipse on Monday, then, you know, maybe you've been sassing and getting your point across, which is great. But now that you've opened the door and reframed the context of how people see you, now it's time to listen to them in your new state of being. And so really, in terms of any communication difficulties you're having with anyone in your life, it's time to listen by the time you get, you know, just before Christmas kind of thing. And so, you know, we're all stepping into new territory. We're all stepping into new versions of ourselves, when we all need to learn how to walk before we run. So that is the Astro news. Let's pull out the tarot and take a look at what's going on. Ah, yes. Okay. So I'm using the Klimt deck. Ooh, already jumping. So we're going to take a look at Sag. Yeah, you're popping right now. Well, you know, I mean, the spotlight is on you, but there may be points of destiny that you're going to start to feel in between now and the 21st. So be on your toes. So I'm going to do a 9-card spread for you, Sag. Have to remind myself. Kind of go improvise with Aries and have a routine by the time I get to you. So there we go. For Sag for December 2020. Oh, no, I didn't ask for you guys. Okay, there we go. And 2 more, please. 1 and 2. All right, so surrounding energies for you, Sag, is the 3 of Cups. So, celebration. That's awesome. See, you know, this is what it's time for you. It's a time of reunions, a time of reconnection, you know, and even if that's virtually, you know, if you're restricted movement because of, you know, the circumstances of our world, you know, then that's what's happening for you. But it doesn't mean, you know, as we have things like YouTube, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't actually participate with other people. And, you know, if you've been in kind of a hibernation state, you know, it's time to reach out maybe. Or at least be available to that. So I'm going to do yours a little differently, Sag, in that I'm going to go to the center of your reading and we'll work our way out from there. Yeah. Ah, that's fantastic. So look, you've got the 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is really about, you know, looking to the future and, you know, waiting for your ships to come in, you know, because I think you can feel it. It's like a rumbling. Something cool is coming. So I'm going to go to my usual. Okay, so in the past, we have the Hierophant. Beautiful card, by the way. Let me hold that up for you. Yeah, you know. So with the Hierophant can represent a few different things. It can represent commitment. It can represent marriage. It can also represent spiritual association, and it also can represent the sign of Taurus. So, so we've got the 4 of Swords, you know, kind of is where you're at. And you may be feeling a sense of like being sheltered within your commitment, because, you know, you're processing the burden of past events, You know, you're just kind of, you know, as we all are, we're all kind of grieving something, you know, or letting go of painful, awkward periods in our lives. So, you know, that's kind of where you've been at. We've got the Eight of Swords for you here, which, regardless of what deck I'm using, I've kind of seen this as the quarantine lockdown card. So, you know, that's kind of also a part of this kind of shelter that I'm sensing, that you feel very well cocooned, you know. Yeah, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. So, you know, it's like, you know, you are kind of like, you know, reaching out, you know, kind of waving, but I don't see at this particular point you taking much action. You know, it's like an incubator, I kind of feel. So in the future, there's going to be King of Pentacles, you know, who's kind of similar to the Hierophant. So these are kind of very fatherly, protective, masculine energies. You know, they're both manly men. You know, and you know, one is kind of more of authority, obviously. The Hierophant, you know, he's, you know, but it's kind of like, but they're very earthy. The Hierophant represents a Taurus, so theoretically the King of Pentacles could be a Taurus as well, or that same Taurus. Yeah, a lot of thinking going on in the future. Yeah, and then the Queen of Swords, and the Five of Swords. So, So there may be more for you to say, you know. And it may cause a bit of friction, or there may be a disagreement of some sort, either that you're involved in or that's around you. Yeah, it's like, that there's something secret going on with a Knight of Wands. So that could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag, just like yourself. And then the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So, yeah, there could be issues around mother and father kind of thing, but something isn't, something is hidden beneath the surface. So let me grab my little wee tarot and get little clarifiers in terms of advice for you, Sag, as you proceed through this this lunar energy. Yeah, in the past it was very dark for you, really super challenging. You know, it was just like super, you know, it was either a serious dark night of the soul or just like, yeah, you're still in recovery with the Four of Swords. You know, you're recovering from a very, very, very painful situation. And then with you here, King of Swords. Yeah. There's some kind of clarity that you're getting in terms of how you want to proceed in your future. Oops. Okay, so yeah, it's about talking about your boundaries. you know, and planting seeds and possible apologies. And let's see here. Yeah, and we've got the strength card. So it's either, you know, something where you've wrestled, you know, a beast in a situation. There also could be a Leo that figures in to this equation somehow. And yeah, it's hard to say. There's so many players here. We have Taurus, we have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, we have Leo, we have Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Yeah, a lot of earth, but a lot of air as well. So, and there's a few pairs. So it definitely could be a family situation, Sag. But again, you know, if we go back to the astrology at this point, you know, as you may be going through some sort of process, that it's going to be time to listen, you know, that maybe up until, you know, from the 30th of November up until about the 15th of December, that'll be a time for you to speak your truth. And then after that, once you get into the 21st and through Christmas and the New Year, that it's going to be more of a listening time. So let me grab my love deck. My love deck is all about relationships. So I'm going to do a mini sampler reading of what I like to call my relationship diagnostic spread. So I'm going to pick a card for you, a card for your partner. Ooh. A card for you, a card for your partner. I'm still shuffling. And a card for the relationship. So that's for you. That's for your partner. And that's for the relationship. So the surrounding energies are adventure. Well, yeah, because you're Sag. So, yeah, you know, you're kind of approaching your future with a spirit of adventure, which is amazing. So, let's see. You, orgasm. Well, look at you. The sex is good, which is always a good thing. Oh, and your partner seems to think so too, because we got naughtiness. So, you know, naughtiness is, you know, is lucky, but be really careful, you know, because if you are kind of in a situation where, you know, somebody's dancing on the line of a commitment with somebody else, you know, you might want to be careful. But in the spirit, you know, this card is a lucky card. It is not considered one of the shadow or the one where, you know, something needs healing. So, you know, it's all in good fun. The relationship is about trust. Maybe you're in something now that you finally feel you can trust, which would, you know, make sense that the sex is good because, you know, you need that. And there's luck there. You know, I think that, Sag, what we're all doing is we're all kind of working through our old wounds, you know, and that once, you know, this month passes and we fully get into the energies of January, then, you know, we're really, really going to have a completely different viewpoint than we have now. So, you know, you're doing the right thing by, you know, maybe not being so quick to take any action in what kind of movement, you know, you're seeing for yourself at some point in the future. Maybe the time now is to resolve any conversations in any of your relationships in a good way. And yeah. So I'm going to put these cards aside. I'll go deeper into them once I get to the extended, which you can find the link down below from my Patreon site. If you get a a subscription, you have access to all signs extended readings. So there's not a whole lot up there right now, but there will be soon. So Sag, I'm going to pick one card from the Distant Early Warning deck by Marshall McLuhan, made in 1969. I would have to say that this is my most prized card deck. I still haven't, yeah, I didn't see that one. I still haven't learned fully cartomancy, but Marshall's written little quotes on each card. So I'm picking one, and this is kind of an abstract way for you to look at whatever career situation you may be pondering. So Marshall says, "The stripper puts the audience on by taking them off." So whatever that might mean for you, Sag, you know? So, oh, how cute is that? So I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm going to pull another one from the Rider-Waite Page of Cups. So whatever it is you are doing, it's likely to be lucrative. So you know, it's none of my business what you're doing. So yeah, good luck with that, Sag. And okay, so Sag, this is where I pull my last card for you today for YouTube. I hope you found the reading insightful. I really love this Oracle deck. It's the Oracle of E. It's cheeky and sassy, just like I'm sure you're feeling these days. So, yeah, laser beam. So, focus in and, you know, realize that, you know, it's time to focus on your dreams. Your dreams. Nobody else's, your dreams. You know? So, thank you so much, Sag, for joining me here at YouTube. Like I said, the link is down below for Patreon. If you found that this reading resonated with you, please share, like, and subscribe. And like I said, there's going to be much more where this came from. So we'll see you again.